On this episode of Plant Rescue, we're going to talk about Australian natives. I've been trying to grow some Australian natives for a while, but I've found that they can be pretty difficult to keep happy. I've been taking all of these as transplants from a friend's property, and I've found that some things just don't work for them. Because a lot are sensitive to phosphorus, you can't use your normal potting mixes for them. And when you're transplanting, you have to be really careful because the roots can often be quite fragile. With these ones, I tried digging them up and keeping them in the natural dirt so that it doesn't disturb the roots. But I found that it hasn't been well draining enough to keep them alive in the pots. A lot of Australian natives are prone to root rot if you leave them too moist. As you can see, some of them are doing quite well, others need a little bit of attention, and some have just not done well at all. The main problems that I had were I used normal potting mix in this round of collections, so there's too much phosphorus and it's probably not acidic enough because Australian natives need that a little bit. And they generally need quite a lot of soil mass for the size of the plant compared to other things, so these are much too comically small, obviously. So here are a few of the ones that I've managed to keep alive that I think are worth focusing on. We've got a Eucalyptus variant that prefers the soil to be a little bit acidic, but generally, much like the rest, it likes to be well draining and doesn't like much phosphorus. And then we have a Banksia that can hardly handle any phosphorus at all. It needs well draining soil, particularly so here, because it's more prone to root rot, and it can struggle with some caterpillars. Then the Casuarina is almost the other end of the scale. It's really tough and hardy, prefers really sandy soil, doesn't even mind a little bit of salt, and almost nothing tries to eat it. I'm not entirely sure what species this one is, but it's relatively representative in that it's worked best with a relatively poor soil, lower in nutrients, and it has struggled with some sapsuckers. Same for the Acacia over here. It struggled with sapsuckers initially until we started spraying, but it's managed with regular potting mix. They're slightly hardier to phosphorus, but I probably still have a little bit too much in here. So as a bit of a recap, some general rules for Australian natives are that they like full sun once they're established. They tend to like relatively poor quality soils compared to other plants, so low phosphorus, maybe slightly acidic, and very well draining or sandy, because a lot of the plants are prone to root rot or other problems if they stay too moist. So that's all for this episode. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something about growing Australian natives.